everybody. Welcome back to the Delta Downlow podcast. I'm your host, Austin Gonzalez, here with my favorite new upcoming team member of the Delta Collegiate, Maddox Salcedo. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. Kind of tired. My sleep schedule is absolutely destroyed.
Oh yeah, work just kind of throwing you off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel that. Between working most of my shifts at with retail and also moving helping my partner move from Gaylord to Oscoda the past week, it's been I completely understand. I am just whipped and wiped. And let's see what's going on in the events around the area. Like starting with Delta College, the planetarium's holding some special showings throughout the month of July. Starting from July 3rd up all the way until pretty much the end of the month, you can catch such special showings such as Sesame Street, One World, One Sky, Cody Coyote's Adventure Planetarium Show, The Mystery of the Great Lakes, Cosmic Dreamscapes, and From Earth to the Universe, and 321 Liftoff Planetarium. So it seems like the planetarium has a lot of showings and movies ready for the kiddos and anyone that's looking to learn and educate themselves on what the planetarium has to offer. Have you been to the planetarium at all?
When I was like 9. It's been a minute.
Were you there for were you there to see like a film that they were showing in their theater, or were you there for like a school project?
I think it was a film. I think it was like this 3D roller coaster simulation thing. It's been so long. I barely remember that.
Fair enough. I remember my mom. No, my mom didn't take me. I think back in the day, I don't know if this is still around, but back in the day, I say that, but like 15 years ago, at the community center in Bay City, they had a summer program. And every summer, you'd if you'd want to sign up, you'd go there, and they'd have you at age groups for each kids, and they'd go do activities, crafts, and stuff. And I remember they took us to the planetarium one of those years, and it was just like this crazy ass light show. I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world, and my parents were like, "Yeah, it's too expensive. We're not going." Yeah, it's a thing you can only enjoy at the summer program. But right now, the planetarium was also known for Delta College students as another campus where students can go and take their classes. And you haven't had a class? You haven't had to go there for a class yet?
I didn't even know they offered classes there.
Oh yeah. It's a variety of classes. It's the same thing. It's a lot of the same classes you can find on the main campus. And I genuinely mean that, a lot of the same classes. Like, I took a health class at the planetarium. Not a science class, not a health class, not a science class, not a biology class, just a standard average fitness health class. Like, nothing to do with, like, space, as I would assume with the planetarium.
Yeah, that is cool. Add some variety to the Tri-City area when taking classes at Delta. It's a different environment.
Because that would be about, I think, 4 locations. Because you have the main campus, you have Saginaw's campus. I believe there's a Midland campus, but I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where it's at. One. Okay, the fabled Midland campus, and then the planetarium with the of course I mentioned the main campus, and that's like the smack dab in the middle of the triangle right there. But if you're looking to take your kids to anything eye-blazing or eye-catching that will just grab your attention, take them to the planetarium this month. There's a lot of cool things going on, especially any show that any movie that's playing Sesame Street. That's my jam. Elmo is my monster. Heading on to the more local news. This upcoming week is the Bay City Fireworks Festival. Woo! Are you excited for that? Or are you excited for all the traffic, most likely?
Oh yeah, I live in Saginaw, so I don't know what I'm gonna be doing for 4th of July. I think I'm gonna go to MBS because they have a bunch of World War II planes there, and I think they're going to do a flyover.
That actually sounds significantly cooler.
I think that's got to be during the day though, so you can actually see them. So I might go see fireworks later, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go to Midland or Bay City. But I think Bay City has better fireworks, to be honest, because I went to Midland last year and like it was all right, but I think Bay City has more.
I think when it comes to, I don't know, I've always heard Midland does nice fireworks, but I've never hear that they stand out because everyone's always traveling to Bay City for them. So I never knew they had their own fireworks. I don't even know if Saginaw has their own fireworks.
I think they do, but I don't know. I don't really know. I think maybe they shoot them up at Ojibwe Island,
That makes sense. That
but
makes sense.
I know like Midland doesn't really have any great viewing spots unless you're there like super early. So that's why I like Bay City better because um kind of like by the river has a lot more spots to look at the fireworks.
Oh yeah, and even then even with that you don't even have to go anywhere close to the river to get a good view. I make my walk to Kolb Elementary School because it's a short distance from my house, and it has a humongous baseball field because that's where the Southwest Little League teams play. And so there's like three. If I say football fields, baseball fields. There's like four. There's like three or four baseball fields on there, and on top of that, just wide open grass space. So I've always headed there every year since I was a kid. My mom would take me there, and we always had a great view. Like at worst, you couldn't see like the tiniest of the tiniest fireworks at the bottom because of the trees,
Yeah.
but you could it was a clear perfect view, and not many people would show up, which was nice. It'd be riddled with skunks, but yeah, but now that I've grown older, I've come to realize that those weren't skunks in the area.
Yeah, as you get older, you can really tell the difference between those two smells.
Yeah. It's just like when you're younger and you smell that, when your parents tell you that's a skunk, or at least your dad tells you that's a skunk. Your dad, who was nicknamed Doobie in high school, tells you, oh yeah, that's a skunk. You kind of just take his word for it.
Yeah.
But the Call Elementary, that's my usual go-to place. The fireworks will be starting at 10:12 from the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So that's this Friday, Saturday, and I'm sorry, that's this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So the event will and they will start carnival hours on Wednesday as well, where you can get tickets or buy $25 or $30 for session armbands for the event. And there will be musical guests such as on Thursday, Cowboy Angels, Bullet Boys, and Slaughter. Friday, the musical entertainment will be Lynch Mob and Stephen Piercy of Rat. And on Saturday, the musical guests will be Six Pack Crush. And you can catch the simulcast on 96.1 WHNN and broadcast it on Mid Michigan Now and Fox 66. Another thing I want to bring up before we move on again is now that the fireworks are around the corner again in Bay City, traffic this time is so much worse. Bridges are closed, and there's now a toll booth for one of the only open bridges. So if there are any students that are looking to get a good view of the fireworks coming from out of town in Bay City, I would just do my best to avoid the river area altogether. If you're just looking for a good view of the fireworks and you're out of there, I would try to look for an empty parking lot on Euclid Avenue or Wilder Road, and you might be able to get a good view from over there. Probably somewhere in the Bay City Mall parking lot, I'd say. But I'd always recommend the Kolb Elementary School if you're able to find your way over there. It is a excellent spot and my favorite place to be. All right, Max, is there anything kind of community area, anything going on in the community that's drawing your attention that you'd like to bring up?
I noticed the Fashion Square Theater finally closed down.
Oh, yep. The Fashion Square AMC Theater is finally closed.
That one was underrated, not gonna lie. If you
Oh,
didn't want to spend like a hundred
absolutely.
dollars, that's an exaggeration, but like if you didn't want to spend $100 but you want to go see a movie, that was a good one to go to.
No, no, let me tell you, you are absolutely right because ever since AMC bought it, they started the AMC A List, which was the competitor to the Movie Pass at the time, And I signed up for that, and I would go to that theater instead to the Saginaw Imagine or the Bay City theaters, because it's still not too far out of my way from Bay City, like where I'm at, getting there. And, 3 movies a week for free, that's already a hell of a deal. And you go to that theater, and the popcorn is a cheap price, and it's still good. The drinks are a cheap price, and they give you a very big cup for a large, and you get to butter your own popcorn there. If I have to say anything, I think the worst problems I've had there was probably the seats weren't that great. But I always loved going there. It holds a special place in my heart. I remember, like one of the earliest memories I have is walking up to the windows of that building when they were all freshly painted, not freshly cleaned. It was like reflecting blue off the sky, and my mom was taking me to see
Oh yeah.
Elmo and Grouchland.
Yeah, that
And
was just a
yeah.
cool little theater.
Oh, absolutely. I'll
It
definitely
had
I'll
that
really miss it.
it had that kind of like early 2000s backrooms vibe too. Just because
Yeah.
it never really renovated it, which I personally thought was cool because I like those liminal space type aesthetics.
Mhm. It's like old school
But yeah,
classic without going overboard into like kind of what McDonald's does these days, where it looks a little too corporate.
yeah, what every fast food restaurant does.
Oh God, yeah.
We used to be a proper country, man.
We really did.
Back
We
when
had
everything had its
theaters.
own characteristics.
Yeah, we had the Burger King kids. They had the one kid in the wheelchair. The McDonald's gang. God, I remember it was like the Burger King commercials where the king came alive and would like stalk people.
Oh yeah, I remember that little penny game they had at the Taco Bells too, man. Where you could get like a free taco or something if you spun it right.
Ooh, nice. I was never much of a Taco Bell guy, so I maybe went inside a Taco Bell that wasn't attached to a KFC maybe like twice in my life.
Honestly, that's like that and Chipotle are the only fast food restaurants I really go to.
It's give or take. It's give or take for me when it comes to fast food. Like I will go to a McDonald's, and sometimes it will just taste like the absolute dog worst piece of crap I've ever had in my life. Like
Yeah,
it's just terrible. It's overcooked, or it's not fresh, or it's both, or it is fresh but it's overcooked, or it's not fresh, or it's not overcooked but it's not fresh. Yeah, just I never have a great experience with like all with fast food almost anymore. Although when I was in Chicago last year, I was at Navy Pier, and we were at Margaritaville. Me and my mom, we only went to Margaritaville for just 2 drinks, and we downed them, and I got intoxicated very quickly. She went to pay the bill, and while she was paying the bill and buying a shirt, I kind of wandered outside the Margaritaville, and it's inside this little mall thing. And across from it was this McDonald's, and every person at this McDonald's that was working there was like a Mexican person. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna slap.
about to
And
be
let me
in.
tell you, it was some of the best McDonald's I've ever had in my entire life. When you
That's awesome.
when you hear Vincente Fernandez being played from a radio behind a McDonald's counter, you know it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
Winding it back a little bit, it's funny you bring up the Fashion Square Theater. I did kind of forget about that already. Because I was looking through the news today, seeing what's been kind of going on in the area, and again, Fashion Square closing does bum me out a lot. It's nice to have extra movie theater options, but there's also a third movie theater in Saginaw, one screen theater, the Court Street Theater, that is temporarily closed for the time being. Are you familiar with the Court Street Theater?
I'm not. I've never heard of that.
Ooh, so the Court Street Theater it's on Court Street, and it's a mom and pop. Excuse me, my lunch. It's a mom and pop theater, one screen, and they usually show they'll show movies like Avenger. Like I remember I saw Avengers Endgame with my friends there. I saw it opening night, but like I saw it like again I think like 5 6 weeks later at the Court Street Theater, just because I thought it'd be neat. And that's usually what they'll do. They'll just play movies probably a few weeks after they come out, but they always played it for a cheap disc. they always played them for for pretty good discounted prices, and the popcorn and drinks were always a good price too. And the only reason I'm bringing it up right now is for the temporary close, is because one of the owners, Thomas Braley, recently passed away at the age of 67, and he is what was one of the owners of that theater. And I just want to say, Mr. Braley, my family is thinking of you right now, and the Court Street Theater does hold a place in my heart for sure. I very vividly remember my dad taking my little sister and I, to go see the SpongeBob movie there in 2004, when we couldn't find anywhere else that was playing it, because when it first came out, we just couldn't afford it. But my dad waited a couple weeks, and he saw that it was playing at the Court Street Theater, and he knew it was a good deal. And I'd always like to check out that place whenever I can. And when it opens back up, I implore all the Delta College students to check it out if you can too. It's a very wonderful building. It's a very wonderful, wonderful screen and theater experience, and it's always a great time to go support your local movie theaters. All right, so let's head on into the world news. Let's see what's going on in the world of entertainment, politics, art, all that kind of jazz. Maddox, how familiar are you with this little thing called Star Wars?
I've heard of it.
Same. I might own a couple of the 9 something movies or such. I love Star Wars. I inject it into my veins. It's one of my favorite things I've ever had to experience. I love 8 of the movie. No, I love 7 of the movies. One in the prequel, one in the sequel. I could probably do away with not watching again. But I genuinely love Star Wars, and with all its faults and criticisms, I do understand. It holds a special place in my heart. That being said, recently Disney released onto their streaming service Disney Plus The Acolyte, which takes place in the High Republic era. It's like a couple centuries before the main plotline begins in the Phantom Menace. And I guess so, ever since like the sequel trilogy came out, like The Last Jedi divided fans, and understandably, it's a very divisive movie. And I feel like since then, anytime Star Wars has done anything, it can't really go like 2 feet without being like attacked by like this crazed online group of wackos that are like, oh, fucking, oh, there's a civil war going on at Lucasfilm because they want to cast Brie Larson in as a Jedi. And what the main point I'm trying to get at here is that's happening again with The Acolyte, and it's just so fucking weird. Like, it's not genuine criticisms. It's not like oh, I thought the writing in this scene was all right, but the writing in the next scene was just a little hokey. It's just like these weird criticisms of like the lightsaber battle in this episode, the person stepped to the left with their one foot instead of the other foot when how could they fight like that? They should have a real swordsman on hand, or on the set. Just a bunch of weird shit. Like, have you seen any of this at all?
I have not, but that just sounds like reaching for criticism.
It really is. Like, I really implore any listener to go out and just type in Star Wars on YouTube, and you will get like fountains of really odd reaching criticism videos with like talk points like Star Wars going woke. 'Cause that's the big thing I guess I wanted to talk about was like,
Oh yeah.
it's always the criticism of woke Star Wars. Like, the main actress in this series is a black woman. The leads in the God, what was it? I think a couple of leads in the previous shows were women, or could be of color. Or, and the main criticism a lot of people have recently is about the characterization of Rey in the sequel series. And a lot of it ties back to, instead of genuine criticisms uh, about the character or the films or the series or the writing or the filming, always ties back to the producers. And I'm not even talking about like producers like on set. I'm talking about like executive producers of the corporate level who probably have nothing to do with the show except for bankrolling it. And that's where the criticisms consistently go back to. And that's all you see when you type in Star Wars on YouTube these days. Just absolutely, it's just really, I just think it's like absolutely beyond, just beyond weird. And I think it's something to bring up that that fandom toxicity is just reaching critical heights these days, not just for Star Wars, but for a lot of people because of the internet.
Oh yeah.
So I think like a lot of people will find an echo chamber, and that echo chamber will come gradually larger. And I think a lot of the things that are echoing aren't just they're just not they're not valid. I don't think. And you can have valid criticisms of anything, but the internet has become such a weird wasteland. You can't tell when people are being serious and not, and then when you do find the people that are being serious, they end up being complete wackos.
Oh yeah.
Have you? I don't know, Maddox. Have you seen like anything kind of like that in comparison to Star Wars, at least on the internet lately?
I'm sure I have. I think just like just in general, like everybody trying to make an argument about anything. Like I'm really big into like metal and rock, and someone always has something negative to say
Hmm.
about like either a musician or a band not being real metal or whatever. And it's like, dude, shut up. We're all losers, man.
Oh
If you're in a
man,
metal as a metalhead, we're all losers. That's why we like it. So
fuck
like,
yeah.
it's so dumb trying to put other people down.
Right, absolutely. We're all in the same boat. Like I remember, it's funny you bring that up. I remember like when Baby Metal like first hit real big and they toured in America. I think they were touring with, could be wrong. I think they were touring with Rob Zombie, and all the comments were just like, "Oh, they're not real metal. They're not real metal. Like, what is this lame baby bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, come on, y'all. We're all the same long haired freaky bastards like head banging along."
Oh yeah, man. Like even with I don't know, I guess just musicians in general, um like you can't please other musicians like no matter what you do because like even looking on like reels or TikTok, you'll see someone doing something genuinely like impressive and there'll always be that one dude like not in time.
Mm-hmm. It
But that's just
makes
one thing you got to learn as a musician. Like don't try to impress other musicians because then you're going to please nobody. Because not only is the music you're going to make not be accessible to the casual listener, but since you're not going to make musicians happy anyways, like who cares?
I
Just
th-
have fun.
I think you're absolutely right. Like once you like kind of create too much of a niche about for yourself, you're kind of alienating people. Not to say like don't go out and like create like market towards your niche, but like sometimes people kind of go like way down their own rabbit hole, or I guess up their own ass, and they become a
Oh
gatekeeper
yeah,
for themselves. That they just alienate everybody else from trying out anything related to it.
yeah. That is a lot of what I see with like other bands, other local bands.
Just a
Like
lot of gatekeeping.
oh yeah, a lot of gatekeeping. Like, and it's always the ones that never play shows too that always try to have like they always try to be somebody else, and they're always the ones criticizing everybody else's style. And it's
Ooh,
like, dude, it's not that serious, man. Just
yeah.
play what you want.
Like we're all here to have a good time. If you have such strong criticisms about the style of music you play as opposed to like little bits like, oh hey, I think your whammy bar was was a little loose. I don't know. But like don't gatekeep is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like just let like and we're all in this to have, we're all in this to like not just have fun, but like we each found a little bit of something in ourselves in the music and the entertainment and the arts, and we want to share that love. And it's just not as fun when people come down and think that they're king hot shit of whatever medium it may be, and it just keeps people from trying it out and experiencing it for themselves and getting a genuine understanding of the connection between them and that medium. Because now in the back of the head, the only thing they got is this guy screaming to them like that blank music isn't real music.
Yeah. One thing I hear a lot is nobody hates rock and metal more than people who are fans of rock and metal.
Oh yeah,
And that's so real, honestly.
that's nope, that's a true statement. A statement that you can apply to a few other things I'd say as well, but it is true
Oh yeah.
nonetheless. Absolutely. All right. Well, is there any world news that you've had on your mind today, Maddox?
The presidential debate, I think the US is cooked regardless.
Oh man, that was sad. That was really sad.
You we're on I don't know. I think like we're definitely nearing close to another global conflict because tensions are very high and the highlight of the debate was who was better at golf.
I genuinely cannot believe that is the conversation I've had with multiple people over the past few days, and they've each brought up with, I cannot believe the conversation delved down to who is better at golf. Like I would be a millionaire for
Yeah,
every dollar I've had for people bringing that up to me the past couple days.
yeah, that's it's bad. Like no one even took it seriously going into it. Like everyone just watched it to get a good laugh, which is like crazy. That's at the point we're at with this country.
Well, we're kind of diving down to, well, yeah, just two crazy old bastard men who are senile as fuck and don't know where they are.
Yep, we got convicted felon versus dementia. Those
Yep.
are our two options.
Convicted felon who just this is just absolute. This is breaking news, and I'm all the big words I'm having a hard time understanding. Uh, I gotta look at this one more time. The immunity, Donald Trump's immunity. Did you see that?
I have not.
All right. Bringing up AP News real quick. Supreme Court rules ex-presidents have broad immunity, dimming chance of pre-election Trump trial. So they sent the case down to a lower circuit, pretty much.
Hmm.
And let's see, looking at it some more, an historic 6-7 ruling, the court's conservative majority, including the three justices appointed by Trump, narrowed the case against him and returned it to the trial court to determine what is left of special counsel Jack Smith's indictment. The court decision is in the second major Trump case this term, along with its ruling rejecting efforts to bar him from the ballot because of his actions following the 2020 election, underscores the role that justices are playing in the November election. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of tension going on right now, and I feel like this is even worse than last time.
Oh,
Like
for
for
sure.
the election, this is just, I'm not looking forward to it. Is all I gotta say. I at first genuinely didn't believe Donald Trump had a chance of getting the Republican ballot, or at least not there. No, I was sure he's gonna get the Republican ballot. I wasn't so
Oh,
sure
for
he'd
sure.
be that strong this time around when it came down to him and Biden head to head. But I'm starting to kind of reconsider that because I genuinely think there's a good chance he might get the office again.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like his diehard fans are definitely going to vote for him, so he's already got like a portion of the population who's going to put that ballot in. But yeah, I really don't know. I really do not know. Um, yeah, it's it's interesting times. You see the rise of like memes and TikToks about World War III. Like the last thing I see as I'm bleeding out in Beijing on 2028. So it's like crazy that like we might have ourselves like a huge moment in history soon, whether that be a conflict or whether that be we have a president of the United States in prison. I don't know. I really do not know what's going to be happening in the next couple years with those two as our options.
Mm-hmm. I'm still really aiming that. I'm aiming for that. Uh, that we're not going to get into civil war. I really don't think so. But as of other global conflicts that are on the horizon, potential horizon, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and these two knuckleheads debating with each other and leading the polls, no matter what, isn't going to lead to anything that substantial in the future. I think towards those potential threats.
Oh yeah. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know why people are kind of fixated on having like a civil war. It's like, dude, that's exactly what the enemies of the state want. Like, I don't know.
Also, the word civil war is just like annoying to me now. I just hear it from like every Republican
Yeah.
that's just like, if Biden gets elected, we're gonna civil war, we'll succeed. And I'm like, isn't that what you guys said last time? What happened? Yeah, you didn't do any of
Yeah, I don't
that.
know. I mean, we definitely have a civil war on Twitter and whatnot, but
Yeah, that's fair. You know, there's always gonna be flame wars on social media. That's just the nature
oh
of
yeah,
social
especially
media.
Twitter or X.
God, I think it'll be renamed to Twitter soon. Not if not in the next year, in the next 5 years. There's no way
I'm
that
still
thing's
calling it
calling it
Twitter.
X. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, though
in the newest season of The Boys, no spoilers. There's a character they go post something on well, for context I'll say X, and on the screen it's X, but no matter what they only refer to it as Twitter, and they're tweeting, and they don't refer to like any of the new like terms that Elon Musk would prefer them to say.
yeah. Yeah, I installed Twitter for like one day and then I saw the bowling ball incident and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
The bowling ball incident.
The bowling ball pin animation. Like,
Oh, yep, yep.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna open this app again. I'm good.
It was just a video podcast, and I could show the viewers right now what we're talking about.
God, yeah, put it to Patreon so you can actually have the real thing.
I'll link it in the description if I can find it. What
Viewer
happens?
discretion advised.
What happens when you get a strike at a bowling alley? I think that kind of about wraps it up this time on the Delta Downlow podcast. What says you, Maddox?
Uh, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I think that wraps up everything.
we got quite a bit going on around the Mid-Michigan area. Delta College will be is again the wheels rolling on opening up for the fall semester. Yeah, forgot what seasons were coming up. So Delta College is getting the ball rolling for the fall semester coming up in just about 6-7 weeks. So we got that coming up. Lots of cool things happening at the Delta College Planetarium for you to check out. Also, on top of that, locally we have, with the closing the theaters, we don't threat for entertainment. We do have the Bay City Fireworks Festival and lots of other things going on in the area, such as musical acts at the festival and a carnival. And let's not forget the shit show that we are in, such as with fucking Donald Trump and Joe Biden leading things in the polls for the 2024 election. That is everything that is happening in the area and beyond for the Delta College community. I'm Austin Gonzalez signing off. Thank you for joining us as always, and this is my guest partner on the Collegiate, Delta Downlow. I'll write an outro soon for this show, but this is my partner as always, Maddox.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Good night.
And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Catch y'all later.